Thank you very much, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm Janet Dudding. I am the nominee for Comptroller of Public Accounts, which is the state's accountant, CFO, treasurer. There's also some other cool stuff out there, but let's leave it at that. We've never had an accountant as our state accountant, and it shows. I know a whole lot of y'all don't know me, but I grew up in the public schools. I was an all-state tuba player in high school. Got married right out of high school. Y'all, band, the arts are so important. Please, we've got to fully fund the arts. We've got to fully fund, yes, athletics, but please keep the arts in there. Got married right out of high school. When that didn't work out, averaged 20 hours a semester to earn my accounting degree. Started working full-time for the Mississippi State Auditor's Office and became a CPA, but I'm a different kind of CPA. I'm a governmental CPA. That first job out of school was actually investigating allegations that elected officials were embezzling taxpayer money or taking kickbacks. I helped lay the groundwork for Operation Pretense, which put over 50 corrupt politicians in prison for procurement fraud. We have a dual executive form of government here in Texas. We need those checks and balances. I'm elected by people, responsible to people. Do not report to Greg Abbott. Do not report to Dan Patrick. Do not report to Paxton. Do not report to any of the other statewide. Report to the people. I grew up in public schools. It outrages me. Lots of times you can tell my voice goes up into a higher octave. Y'all, I'm a tuba player. My voice is usually down here. But I'm so angry that most of our public school employees are not covered under Social Security, and that is unacceptable. We can draw a line in the sand. Y'all not only need a living wage, you need full benefits on that living wage. While we're on benefits, I do not understand how in the world school districts are able to provide more economical health care when we've got 1,450 plus or minus school districts in the state. We can pool the risks that should reduce the cost. You know, this is a contract. It seems like the comptroller could do something about this contract. That's outrageous to me. Third thing that's outrageous to me, and then I'll start talking about property taxes, which I think is what I was asked to talk about. Third thing that's outrageous to me is that our retirees are retiring only on TRS, which has not seen a COLA. I'm preaching to the choir, this is not news to y'all. Has not seen a COLA in almost 2 decades. Most of y'all are retiring on TRS with no Social Security, and that TRS is fully taxable. We need to build in COLA. We must build in COLA. There were some things that Comptroller Hager did this year that reduced the pension cost. Reduced the pension funds available to pay COLA. We got to cut that out. We got to realign our priorities. Y'all are our priorities. Y'all are the future. I still remember my favorite teachers. Enough on that. The Comptroller, sorry y'all, but I will stick up for that. I will stick up for y'all every chance I get. When I spoke at convention, I mentioned 2 of those 3 things. I didn't have time enough to mention the health care, but I will stick up for you and I will be a stalwart. I got your back. Property tax. What in the world does a comptroller have to do with property tax? That's set on the local level. The comptroller oversees the appraisals, the appraisal districts. So those appraisals are set at the appraisal district. The comptroller oversees that whole thing, mainly to an eye on public school funding. We've got all those charter schools, and those are coming out of property tax. So here comes the appraisals. Here comes the rates on those appraisals, and I think you'll hear more about that later on. But out of that chunk comes charter schools. Out of that chunk comes some of the 313, which can benefit school districts. But it also puts the burden on regular folks, like homeowners, like small businesses, like renters, to make up that corporate break on that 313. Now 313 is the property tax abatement for big construction coming into your school districts. And lots of times there's a pilot, there's a payment in lieu of tax. So there can be some benefits, but there's also some risks involved. That thing is supposed to sunset this year, but Hager, current comptroller, has delayed the deadline from April to June, and now it's August. So people rushing in there with their applications, if they can get their application approved, then it is probably going to go forward, because he's only disapproved 1. So we've got this bucket of property tax, and out of it we've got these huge chunks coming. The Constitution says that public schools are fully funded. It doesn't say anything about charter schools being fully funded. It certainly doesn't say anything about private schools being fully funded. I want to get a plug in real quick because I know I'm running up against my 5 minutes, but we've got an excellent slate of candidates out there, from Beto O'Rourke to Mike Collier to Rochelle Garza to me to Jay Clayburgh, who was land commissioner overseeing the permanent school fund, to Susan Hayes and Luke Warford. That statewide slate, y'all, we're warriors. All of us care deeply about public education. All of us will go back to you again and again and again because it matters. Y'all matter. I'm Janet Dudding. I think I'm up on my 5 minutes. Thank you very much for letting me talk in.